Grab some meat or whatever you need. I'm Kamal. It's time to get to it. Alright guys, so I just spent the last hour roughly streaming, and I've come up with a build that I find to be moderately entertaining, focusing around the new helm that we have called Flickering Flame. This is going to be a Fire Zealer. We'll call it that. I know that the Tesladin, which is the lightning version of the Zealer, is a pretty popular build. Me personally, I like fire. It is what it is. Not that I dislike lightning. I think lightning is very entertaining and very fun, but I really like fire. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to come up with a fire paladin. So that's what I did. This is a build I've been playing around with, dabbling around with. Now, you're not going to see as much damage on the character as you will with the Tesladin, but it does still melt faces, I'd say, pretty effectively. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through the build. I'm going to show you the gear that I use, my stat setup, different things like that. Obviously, there is room for this build to be improved because this is just a few hours of me playing around on the 2.4 PTR with the new Flickering Flame runeword. So, without further ado, let's jump into the character stats. So as far as strength and dexterity, enough to put on the gear. You'll notice it's 156 and 139. So 136 is the baseline that you're going to want to make sure that you have. It says base value 131. That's with the stuff. I have 136 to be able to wield my phase blade. Strength, you want to be able to have 156 so that you can wield the monarch for the spirit for the CTA. So yeah, there's that. Everything else goes into vitality. You will notice that my resistances are pretty low. That's fine. This is not a uber killer. This is not really a boss killer. This is a run around, have fun, kill stuff Zealer. As far as the gear, we'll go over that in just a moment. Let's look at the skill tree first. We're going to look at the defensive auras. Pardon me, we're going to max out resist fire, and we're going to max out salvation. The reason that we max out these two skills is because you'll notice on the offensive aura, Holy Fire gets a bonus to damage when you put points into resist fire and salvation. Huge benefit from resist fire, pretty big benefit from salvation. Then you're going to want to max out fanaticism. So we've got fanaticism maxed, we've got resist fire maxed, and we have salvation maxed. And then we go over to combat skills. You want to max out zeal, and then all of the remaining points you want to dump into holy shield. By the time you get done with this build, you should be able to get this completely maxed, and then from there, honestly, you can put it wherever you want. Now, this build may change. If it does change how I build this build out, we will go over that. But this is where it is currently. As far as our gear and our mercenaries gear, the mercenary is going to be super standard. We have Endariel's Visage, Infinity. The Infinity you can also put into a Colossus Vulge. In fact, you'll get a lot more damage if you put it into a Colossus Vulge, so let's do that real quick. Actually, you know what? I don't even know if my merc has enough strength. It does. Okay, so we'll go ahead and make this real quick. Burr, Mal, Burr, Ist. All right, there we go. Oh, shnikes, I turned on the oven and forgot to take the bacon pan out of it. I can smell the bacon pan a cooking. So, there you go. A bit more damage. So we have a Colossus Vulge Infinity, Endariel's Visage, and a Fortitude Archon Plate. As far as the gear on my character, one moment, I just got to message my wife. All right. Now, as far as my character himself, you have Hand of Justice, the Hajj Phase Blade. The reason why, level 16 Fire Aura when equipped. Also 33% increased attack speed, which is nice. 320% enhanced damage, which is nice. Ignore target's defense, which is huge. And negative 22 enemy fire resistance. This is a huge thing on this weapon. The other two, essentially the same thing as if you had two facets in, with the blaze when you level up or meteor when you die. For the diadem, we have Flickering Flame. This is the new rune word that just came out with the 2.4 PTR. Plus 3 to fire skills, negative 11 to enemy fire resistance. It's pretty good. Level 5 Resist Fire Aura when equipped. That is going to get your resist fire up a little bit higher if it does work properly. I still haven't tested that to see if it does. I know how I can real quick. Yep. Yep. So it works. If you have that on, it will allow you to break the way that I see that. Max resistances are at 75, but with Chains of Honor on, you see my fire resistance is at 95. So, yep, that's good. Okay. Now, Mara's Kaleidoscope. There's a few different options you can use here. This is just Mara because it's there, and I've got it. Dragon Armor. Probably going to want a Mage Plate, or an Archon Plate if you can get it. Dusk Shroud if you can get it. Whatever. This is just what we had available on the PTR to start out with. Sir Low Soul. The reason for this, you have a chance to cast Venom when striking. When struck rather, when you get hit. You have a chance to cast Hydra when striking, which is pretty good. Level 14 Fire Aura when equipped, and then a fair amount of defense added on. If you look at level 14 plus level 16, that's a level 30 Fire Aura, and then you put on Dragon Shield. That's going to give you a level 44 Holy Fire Aura with these 3 items equipped. Level 44, and then you're going to be increasing the damage with the build that you have, with the fire resistance aura points put into it, as well as the salvation aura points put into that. So you have a level 44 Holy Fire Aura with a lot of additional damage added to it. For the boots, we just have Sandstorm Treks. For the rings, we have 2 BKs, life stolen per hit. It's good stuff. Plus 1 to skills. For the belt, we have Arachnid's Mesh Spiderweb Sash. There's a lot of different options you could put here. For Dungo's Hardy Coil would be great. That's probably what I would go with aside from this, is probably Dungo's. And then Dracul's Grasp. One of the big reasons for Dracul's is the 10 life stolen per hit, as well as the 5% chance to cast level 10 life tap. That life tap is a huge quality of life feature. It's going to allow you to recover so much life that it doesn't really matter how much damage you're taking when it does go off. On the weapon switch, pretty basic, pretty standard. We have a Call to Arm Flail so that we have a battle command and a battle orders buff, and then Spirit Monarch. If you can get your hands on it, a Demon Limb is a nice little quality of life item. The reason is the level 23 enchant. You get that enchant, you just get a little bit more attack rating, even though it doesn't matter because you have Ignore Target's defense, and also the increased fire damage with enchant. So let's see how this build works. We'll go out here. Obviously, you buff up, battle commands, battle order, throw this on, enchant up. I pressed E and he walked over there. That's fine. There we go. Now we're buffed up, and let's see what we're looking at. 8,500 damage. Now, if you look, when I'm just walking around, everything just melts. It all melts. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It all just kind of falls apart at the seams. Obviously, if you're using your Zeal, you're going to be doing even more damage. There's no way to really tell without without having the Holy Fire aura just on your build to see how much the Holy Fire does, but it's enough. It's enough. This is just, like I said, with me walking around. Now imagine once you actually start hitting these things. This is pretty damn cool. I mean, I wasn't even near Shank and he just kind of dropped dead. Pretty entertaining. Now, I feel like this may be scaled a little high. I feel as though there may be some extra damage coming through that it's not supposed to be. This seems way too strong. This seems kind of insane. Now, yes, I do have Infinity. Yes, this is a very expensive build, but still, the fact that everything just kind of dies without me even doing anything is pretty OP. I mean, this thing, obviously, my mercenary is doing a lot more damage to it than I am, but this is just, it's incredible. I'm really, really enjoying the possibilities from this build, and maybe you will too. The fact that Infinity breaks some fire resistance, that's one of the things that I think might be broken, is things that are immune to fire without me even being close enough for Infinity to have the conviction aura applied to it. It still breaks their fire resistance and they're taking damage sometimes. It just depends on the creature. It seems like it's working how the cold used to before they changed it again. But this build's good fun. It's good stuff. I'm really, really enjoying it. And I'm sure that you will too. So get on the PTR, test it out, see what kind of builds you can come up with. Theory craft a stronger one. Let me know what you come up with in the comment section down below. Leave a link to the video that you make if you do make one. I would love to check it out. Let me know what kind of changes you would make to this build if you were the one running it. And I will see y'all in the next one. I'm not sure what we're going to do next, but I do have my eyes on a melee source with pretty much this same build. It just doesn't seem to be as strong on a melee source. Melee source, it still seems like lightning is the way to go, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I will see y'all later. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm out of here.